everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady. Today I'm going to show you how to create a super simple spring foodscape. I have some broccoli, some cauliflower, and some cabbage that I bought from local garden centers, and I also went ahead and picked up some little onion sets. I'm going to incorporate all of these into this existing bed, which is mixed with ornamentals and edibles, and that's really what foodscaping is about. So I'm going to utilize this little bit of square footage just for this quick rotation of spring crops to take best advantage of this open square footage so that I will avoid having weed infestations. Now you can see here, this is a raised bed using bottles. I have a video of making this from last spring. But I'm going to actually need to top dress with some more compost before I plant, because if you look closely, you'll see these roots of the figs are all the way up to the surface. So I just need to layer a few extra inches of compost in here to fill out this bed, and then it'll be ready for planting. Okay, I've got my wheelbarrow full of compost. I'm going to get this offloaded into this bed, spread it out, and then it will be time for me to plant this up as a spring seasonal foodscape. Is there anything more beautiful than fresh laid compost? I think not, especially this black magic from Soil Cube. I'm sorry for everybody who lives outside of their delivery range. It really is a spectacular soil, and unfortunately, I don't know of another product that is made to the same level of quality that I can recommend. So I always just tell people, you know, check with your local extension or your local master gardeners, see where they buy their substrates and where they're accessing their compost from if you're living outside of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Okay, now the process for planting is super obvious. You know, here's the thing. Foodscaping is no more complicated than just gardening in general. It's really just not having barriers for where you plant your vegetables. You're looking more at all of your property, finding the sunny places that have good quality soil and easy access for watering and harvesting, and that's where you're locating your veggies. And in this case, this is a nice open corridor, and I'm going to plant these in this space here, and I'm going to fill up these existing 100-gallon root pouches with another round of broccoli, cauliflower, and of course the cabbage. And then I'm going to actually be planting these onion bulbs along edges, and I'm going to do these throughout different borders of my garden because the onions are really practical for helping deter voles in ground and then rabbits, deer, and groundhogs above ground. So onions and garlic, some of the most practical plants that you can include in your home foodscape. Plus, they're great to eat. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of what I just planted. I don't know why I kept saying broccoli. This all here is cauliflower. And then I had gotten some Brussels sprouts, so I had put 2 on this side, and then I really started filling in the openings in these root pouches with more Brussels sprouts on this side. And the reason I didn't buy broccoli is because I have last season's broccoli, which I need to keep harvesting these little bits, which I'll be doing tonight. It's gonna be my dinner. Same thing here. You can see these sprouting varieties are really great. And then this whole bed is primarily now filled with Brussels sprouts. But the reason I did not buy broccoli is simple. I have all of this broccoli that I sowed during my random experiments, and it's time to get this planted. So, you know, this was done on the 4th of January. It's been a long season of experiments with these broccolis. Those need to get planted out into the foodscape, and these kohlrabies are just about ready as well. These were done on the 9th of February. So I have plenty of other seedlings to go ahead and get planted in other parts of my garden. The sad little cabbages, these got frost damaged from the store, but I bought them anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and put those in these root pouches here to fill them out. And you can see, you know, I still have more broccoli that needs to be harvested. So I'm gonna have a good dinner of broccoli tonight. So this is a great border to get started planting onions right along the edge. And that's mostly because they're gonna be really convenient to be able to harvest. I'm not really that worried about animals coming in and eating this at this stage. And typically I plant my onions usually in the fall, but I couldn't resist 100 bulbs for $3 at Walmart, and they'll be totally fine. They'll still be harvestable. I probably won't harvest these until I'm suspecting like maybe October, September, October. It'd be kind of fun to watch what they do through the growing season being planted at this time of year. The process is really easy. They don't need to be planted deep. You don't need any tools. You're just gonna take the bulb. You're literally just pushing it down into that fresh compost. I plant them about 6 inches apart. I want them to be nice and tight. I don't need them to take up a ton of room. And this has worked for me for over a decade. This has basically always been my approach. I don't really understand why anybody would devote like an entire raised bed just to onions when, you know, you could grow things that are harder to grow in a raised bed. That's like prime real estate. And instead just put your onions throughout your landscape and grow them along edges. It's very efficient. So this is the perfect area to continue on planting onions because look, I already have onions planted here from last fall. So I'm just gonna be able to continue planting right along this edge and carry it around the corner. So we are at the time of year where now I go ahead and fertilize any time that I plant. And that's because it's March. We're gonna be getting some good rain this week, and I want all of these plants to grow to their fullest because time is of the essence now. Remember, these are cool season crops. I'm getting in one last season before the temperatures rise and it's time to put in things like peppers, tomatoes, and eggplants. So I wanna give these everything they need, and I'm really excited about this new to me fertilizer that I'm trying for the first time. This came from Johnny Appleseed Organic. So the process for fertilizing, this is true with any organic fertilizer. You're just really kind of sprinkling it around. I usually say a small handful per plant is more than adequate. And then I'm going to not only fertilize everything that I planted in the ground, but I'm going to go ahead and add fertilizer to all my grow bags as well. Well, I feel like I've taken full advantage of this extra hour of sunlight that we've gotten today. And now it's just time for me to come through, harvest some broccoli so I can go in and make a delicious broccoli primavera pasta dish. I look forward to giving you all updates from here in my home foodscape in central North Carolina, Zone 7. Thanks for watching.